All right, hey there everyone. I'm Darryl Stringer and I'm just trying to get things started here. There we go. Welcome to episode 5 of the Builder Photography in Business show, where I help photographers like you with photography, marketing, and pricing. And this week we're going to speak with Cameron Curdie from Ubookr. I'm going to outline what I see as the roadmap to real estate photography success, and we'll close with an open question and answer time. I'm going to note though, we are streaming live to Facebook and YouTube. So if you leave a comment, I may highlight it during the show. So just keep that in mind when you're posting your comments on the video. All right, we are talking now with Cameron Curdie from ubookr.com. So let's bring him in and he's going to show us around and what his service is like. All right, Cam, how are you? Good to see you again.
Good morning. How are you, Darryl?
Oh, good, thanks, mate. All right, so let's get into it. First of all, can you give us like the 30-second overview of what Ubookr does? Just really briefly.
Oh, certainly, yes. So I've been a real estate photographer since the mid-90s, and the biggest complexity in business for me was always scheduling myself and my staff to get to jobs on time. So Ubookr handles that situation really well. So we've built a scheduling platform that allows you and your customers to schedule your staff members quickly and efficiently to get to jobs. And so as jobs move around, as we all know they do, bad weather, the house isn't ready, things like that, Ubookr allows you to reschedule your staff and notify your customers instantly, basically. On top of that, it does a whole lot of really intelligent things like calculating travel time between jobs, delivering photos to your customers at the end of the day, that sort of thing.
Cool. All right, let's then take a look. We'll have a look at your dashboard and how it all looks for a photographer and things like that.
For sure.
So I'm going to bring this in. Let's make that full screen. Okay, so show us around and how it all works.
All right, so there's a lot of different settings in Ubookr because it does a lot of different things, but I'll just run through them pretty quickly for you, Darryl. So as you set up your Ubookr account, you can set up various parts of your company, logos, and a description of your business and contact details. And then there's some scheduling rules you can build into your business. So minimum lead times customers can make, bookings, things like that, how minimum cancellation periods, terms and conditions that can be displayed to your customers when they're making bookings. So it can be in pop-up windows and via emails, and also notification policies. So every time a booking comes into Ubookr, your customers receive an email telling them that the booking's been confirmed, and it can also have calendar invitations and sync into Google Calendar. So there's a lot of settings around that and how you want those notifications to go out, whether you want them to be instant or a particular time of day. And now a really important part of any good scheduling system is having a good booking form on your website. So Ubookr handles this, and you can manage a lot of different settings about how your customers can book online. So whether they've got an account or whether they can create an account, and which staff members they can select and things like that. And there's also some code here so that you can embed that into your site. Now I'll show you how that looks. I'll just change screen share screens here for a moment, Darryl.
Sure.
So this is a sample website we've set up with the booking form embedded into it, which is easily done by just dropping in a line of code onto your website software, whether that's Wix or whatever it is you're using, WordPress. So I'll just put in a sample booking here. So we'll just use Times Square as an example. So your customer can see this on your website. They put in the address where they need their photo shoot done, and then it filters which services are available to that customer in that area. So let's pick a photo shoot here for 2,000 to 3,000 square feet. You can have add-ons available as well. So here we've got drone photography. So we'll select that. Now you can choose which staff member the customer here can choose which staff member they'd like to use. This is controllable by the photographer at your end. You may not want them to choose which staff member, so you could just have it as first available person. But let's pick Mandy here. Now, it's looking at Mandy's calendar and finding available times. And this can also be synced to Mandy's Google Calendar as well. So if she's got other availability problems, with other appointments or family commitments, that can be taken into consideration. It's also taking into consideration how much travel time Mandy needs to get between jobs so that she's never running late. So let's put in Wednesday at 11 a.m. Now, this is set so that you can collect all the customer details, or they can log in. So let's just log in on this one rather than collect the details. So we have oops, got that one wrong. I've forgotten the password. Only ever happens in a live demo. So let's just create a new account here. So let's just go fictitious name.
So typically the client would only need to set themselves up once.
That's right.
And then to go each time.
So I won't bore you with logging in there, but then that confirms the booking. And then when the booking is completed, I'll just change screens again for you there.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So now the bookings come into the calendar here. And so this is all the bookings in for this company. And we can see each of the bookings, where they are, what has been booked. You can click on each booking and see the details of the job. So we can see that this one's been booked for 9:30 on Wednesday with Ned Stark, and there's the realtor's details. There's the history of the job booking and all the details that you could need for it. This can then be edited. So say the weather turns bad and you need to change that booking. You can always just drag that booking to a new day. And when you're happy with where it is, you save it, and that can then send out a new notification to the real estate agent. So let's send that out. And so that's sent new notifications to everybody. So everybody's always staying in the loop.
Yeah.
So as you're growing a business too, it's very handy because you can add more staff members, and you can see you can filter through which of your staff members, what bookings they have. And there's a whole lot of nice things, like you can look in day view and staff planner. So different views for different ways of working. Now back to the setup. So we've also got, so you can create your staff in the system, what their roles and permissions are within your company, whether they accept bookings, whether they can manage accounts, things like that. Which services they are able to provide. So let's say Cersei can't fly a drone. So let's say take that off for her. And these are the work areas that Cersei's available to be booked in. So we've created different work areas or territories. So also handy for a growing photography business. You can put on new staff members. You can give them different territories that they can work, and that way you can expand your business and control your staff availabilities very carefully. Ooh. And then this is Cersei's work hours. So what time she works each day.
Yep.
Save those changes, and you can add as many staff members as you like into the system.
Yep.
Now, on top of that, you've got a services list. So this is where you create all the different services that you offer your customers. So here, this is the 2,000 square feet package, the rate, how much you're charging to shoot that, how long you need on site to photograph that property. And that's how long will be allocated within the system. Whether that job can be made as a confirmed booking by the customer, or whether you want to control the confirmation. And so it becomes a pending job until you confirm the time. Time restrictions is a really interesting one. I'll just show you how that works. So let's go over to dusk photography. So dusk photography, we all know that needs to be done at dusk. So you can put a time restriction on it. So it can only be booked between 6 and 8 p.m, or you can adjust that to whenever you like, based on the time of year. Which staff members can perform dusk photography. and then there's which services will be offered as an add-on to Dusk Photography. So here we've got drone photography. The additional fee will be $90, and we need another 30 minutes on site to perform that task.
Yeah, I think that add-on capability is really important.
Yeah.
Because it's some real estate photographers that don't lay out their pricing really well, and it gets it's just like one great big long list. It's hard to sort through, and I like how you've got this where it comes up just specific for each individual job. It's really good.
Yeah, thank you. On top of that, Daryl, we've also created a thing called custom pricing. So you can create price groups for different customers. So invariably, as you are out there promoting yourself and getting new customers, you'll need to negotiate particular prices or packages for some customers. And so Ubookr handles that really well. You can create a price group for each of your customers. So I'll just quickly create one here to show you how that works. So let's create a price group for our customer called Big City Realty. We've named the group, and then we say which customer this is going to go into this price group. So let's select Big City Realty. You can give them an across-the-board discount or markup here, or you can go in and say which services are available to that customer. Let's say Big City Realty don't get Dusk Photography, and for drone photos, they pay a bit more, or a bit less. Let the word go for more. So they get charged $100, and down here, instead of $100 for 2,000 square feet, let's say they pay $200.
Yep.
And so over on the right-hand side here, you can see the list building. You can create a new price group for every one of your customers if you choose to. And then when your customer is making a booking into the system, they only see the services and the prices that apply to them. So a great way for controlling your pricing and making sure that everything's done properly.
Good.
Now, there's also the work areas management. So we've set up a couple of work areas here on this demonstration account in New York. So here, I'll just zoom that out a little bit. So we've given these territories different colors and different names. We can see here we've got Brooklyn, Manhattan, and Queens. And you can say, let's have a look at the Queens area. So these are the zip codes that have been selected for that work area. And these are and over on the right-hand bottom side here, you can see which staff members are available to be booked in that area.
Yep.
Again, you can create as many work areas as you like. Your staff can overlap areas. And on top of that, you can also add a travel fee to an area. So if you have an area that's a bit further than you'd normally like to go, or you'd like to travel, charge a little bit extra to travel there, Ubookr handles that for you. So that's the basic settings of the system there for you, Daryl.
Yeah, nice.
So once bookings come into the system, they've been completed by the photographer. Then you want to deliver the deliverables to your customers. And so that's all integrated into the one platform for you. So you go over to the campaign section here, and so you can see jobs that have been completed, and they create a campaign or an album in the system. And you can just, once you've finished your retouching, you can create an album and send it over to the customer. Let's put a couple of photos into this album.
While you're doing that, someone just commented saying the postcode mapping is pretty awesome. So yeah, I can see how that makes a lot of sense for a lot of people.
Yeah. It's a really, really useful feature as you're growing your business. So those previews have been created. Now you can choose which one is going to be the hero photo for that album. So let's choose a nice view shot here. Let's change it up there. And then you simply upload the photos. And then the great part of this is you have all the customer details here. So you know that this was done for Jacinta Fields, so you can send the photos to her. You also have the other contacts within that real estate office. So you might want to deliver them to somebody else who looks after the photos in that office. And when you've chosen who you want to deliver them to, you just click that. Now the photos are quickly uploading. Our servers are hosted around the world. They've got secure backups and they go through a content delivery network. So they're always high speed and extremely secure. So you'll never lose any photos. Now you can see that upload's finished, and over on the right here, who it's been shared with. So what happens from that is that's created a photo album for the customer, and this is what they'll see when they click on the email they've received.
Yep.
And so you've got a really nice delivery system built into Ubookr for you. So you don't need to use Dropbox and external software like that anymore.
Yeah.
You've got all the usual features like slideshows, and you can download each photo individually if you choose to.
Yep.
And that downloads the highest resolution that you as the photographer uploaded. But you can also, the customer can also choose different resolutions that they want to download. So let's say for MLS, they can download here. And now Ubookr is scaling those photos for you to that resolution, and it's building a zip file, and then it starts the download. So that's all handled. You don't need to do any resizing in Photoshop at the end of the day before you do delivery. You can also include watermarks onto photos if you choose.
Okay, cool.
All right. Oh, sorry, Daryl, I'm running on a different screen and I didn't share that with you. I'd just like to show you that photo album screen.
Sure.
My mistake.
That's right, no problem. Quick question, Cam. Someone asked, how does the system determine which photographer to book? If there are 5 photographers servicing an area, is there a round robin method?
There is, yeah, absolutely. So that's one of the settings that you can set up in the system. And it works on a round robin principle. So
Cool.
if it's set to first available person, it will show all the availabilities across all the calendars for your staff members, and then it will allocate them in a round robin fashion.
Right, awesome, thanks.
So
this is the delivery
yes, this
page
is the
for
photo album.
agent.
Yeah. So this is what the customer sees when they click on the email, click view album. So we've got the slideshow. They can download photos directly from the photo album.
Yeah, so there's a nice big download button for agents that are a little confused by some of the other systems.
Bright orange one. I can't miss it.
Yep.
And they can choose what resolution they'd like to download. So MLS, it's there for you, or different resolutions for web use. And then it builds a zip file, rescales, builds a zip file for you, and then downloads the album.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'll just take you back to the main screen.
Sure.
Right. Okay, so that's the photo delivery system. You can also upload floor plans, videos, all sorts of things there. Now, a really great and unique part of Ubookr is your customers also have a login to Ubookr, so that they can not just book through your website. So for more your power user and regular customers, they have a login that looks similar to this page, this dashboard you're seeing here, but it's got a lot less options. They don't need to do all the setup, but they can always come back and view their different photo albums. So you don't need to keep backups anymore. You can just back up in Ubookr if you choose to. And so your customers always have access to their photos and you don't need to be searching through them. And they can also come in here and make bookings and adjust bookings if they need to because of changing circumstances. And I think, Daryl, that's probably a pretty complete overview of the basics of the system. There's a lot of extra detail and fine settings and ways for photographers to fine-tune how the system works. But I think for the purposes of a quick demonstration, that covers it.
Yeah, excellent. That's great. If anyone wants to find out more, actually, let me jump out of here, go to there. Sorry, let me go here. There we go. So if anyone does want to find out more, ubookr.com. Cam, do you want to hang around to the end for a bit of Q&A in case anyone has any other questions?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Sweet. All right. So let's get into some other stuff now. All right, so how do you become successful as a real estate photographer? Now, today I've got 7 concepts in what I call the roadmap for real estate photography because if you do all 7 of these things, preferably at maximum capacity, I think you're going to be successful. So here they are. We start off with your skills, and that's going to cover all areas of your business. So you need to work on your photography, but you'll also want to get really good at video and other add-on services so you have more options to sell. I don't think you want to rely solely on still photography when you could be selling other services as well. It just makes sense to really diversify your services and your client base. But beyond that, you also need to advance your skills in things like customer service so you can delight your clients, and also your business management skills so you know how to operate a business and not just have a job that really controls you. We also want to remember that when we're talking about skill development, we're actually talking about the organization as a whole. So, you can bring in other people to fill the gaps if you need to. You don't have to do everything yourself. So if there are some skills in your business or in your services like video or floor plans that you just aren't good at or you just don't like to do, then you can pay other people to fulfill those roles in your business. It's not just up to you to get things done. So bring others in just as a really fast and efficient way to bring diversity to your organization. The next step then in our roadmap is your online presence, and you want to make sure your website and your social media channels really align with your brand. So that's what it's all about, because it's online where your prospects will probably first see what you do. And so it has a really big impact on how they perceive you. So if, say, someone was to just see your website or your Instagram, do you look highly professional, or do you look like someone who doesn't really know what they're doing? Now, I mean, that might sound a bit harsh, but that's the impression that some photographers give with their online presence. You also need to work on your site so it ranks well in local search results, because there's just no point having an awesome website if it doesn't get any traffic at all. Finally, you want to share content on social media so you get more followers. I know a lot of photographers fall short with this, and I get it. It's hard work. But if you want to be successful, you do need to be active on the platforms where your clients and prospects are active, or else you're just going to be left behind. The next thing to work on is your numbers. And by that, I mean, you need to know your revenue and expense numbers inside out so you can charge appropriately. Okay, so you need to really obsess over your numbers. And when you do that, then you can set your pricing at a level where you cover all costs and you have a generous profit margin. And that's really important. You could get super busy and be doing 20 jobs per week, but if you're not generating any profit because your prices are too low, then you'll always be struggling. Another tip regarding your numbers is that you monitor your revenue and expenses so you have an objective measure of the health of your business week by week. Look, I know it's easy to feel like things are busy, but your feelings aren't always the best indicator. You want to rely on something that's more objective, so track those numbers. Next up is growth. So I'm talking here about marketing, and good marketing is where you connect with the right people in the right way over the long term. Now, a lot of photographers seem to rely on word of mouth and just hoping that people find them, but it doesn't have to be that way, right? You want to get good at building new connections with dream prospects, then build marketing sequences that convert prospects to long-term clients, and then finally establish systems so you stay in touch with prospects, current clients, and lost clients. Now, we tend to get really scared about marketing, but that's really all you need to be doing. Just connect, convert, and then stay in touch. Now, the 5th step in our roadmap is upselling, and that's where you promote your add-on services. So you convert small bookings into large bookings, and that's how you maximize the profit for every shoot. So instead of just taking a photo shoot booking, you upsell them to also get a video and a custom website or whatever it is you do. Again, this is something you want to be very deliberate about, because this is where you really take your business to the next level. This is where you move from an average of $200 per property to $400 per property. And of course, just doing that, then you double your revenue. Step number 6 is time management. And this is all about taking control of your time. So you have the energy and the time to get things done. And typically that's going to involve having other people deliver non-essential activities. Now, this is really important, because if you don't manage your time carefully, and if you don't charge appropriately for your time when providing services to your clients, you can wear yourself out really quickly. So part of time management will involve charging appropriately for your time. So if you're doing a photo shoot and it will take you 2 hours, make sure the rate you charge adequately covers you for that 2 hours. When it comes to time management, you also want to build systems so the business runs smoothly without you working excessively long days. And that might include some automation, like we just looked at with Ubookr, or some other systems in your business to help things run as efficiently as they can. Finally, it may help you to bring in, again, the right people so you don't have to do everything. Now, this doesn't mean you have to become a large company, but you just might find that bringing in even one person, even part-time, could really help. Or maybe you do need a large team, and that's okay too. Just make sure you get the right people in, because if you get the wrong people, then the time management piece can get worse, not better, because you have to deal with them, and there's all the headaches around training them, how many hours they work, and it can get really messy if it's not done right. But when it's done right, and it's just everything's great, your team will run really, really well. So hope that makes some sense. The final stage is number 7 in the roadmap, and that's where we're talking about developing your brand so you deliver experiences that match how you want to be perceived. So if you want to be a luxury brand and charge high fees, then one thing you can do is both create amazing content and also connect with the right people to position yourself as a thought leader in your local market. Now, the creation of content can really help show your clients and prospects that, firstly, you know your stuff, and secondly, it says that you're here to help, and that resonates really well with a lot of people. Another part of elevating your brand means making sure every part of the journey for every client is a high-class experience. So you don't want to be offering, say, amazing photos, but be left with disappointed clients because maybe your photo delivery process confused them, or they couldn't find what they needed, or you were super slow to reply, or whatever it is, because then that's the memory they are left with. So instead of, your amazing photos. So you want the whole experience your clients have with you to really match up with the type of brand that you want to be. So there's our 7 stages in the roadmap to real estate photography success. We're looking at skills, online presence, numbers, growth, upselling, time management, and brand. So I want to ask you, from that list of 7, what do you think you need to work on? What are the areas that maybe aren't yet at 100% for you? So maybe drop a comment, let me know which ones you need to work on. Now, I look at a lot of photographers. They focus on the photography part of skill development, and some are doing really good things with their online presence. But I think you need to work on each of those 7 areas. That's going to give you the best chance at success. And I'd probably suggest that it's pretty bulletproof. If you can excel in all 7 areas, then I think you're going to be a success in any market. I don't think there's really any doubt about that one. All right, let's have a chat. Oh, let me move up here. Not that one yet. There we go. If you've got any thoughts or questions, drop them in the comments. Cam is still here from Ubookr, so if you've got any questions for him as well. But otherwise, if you're watching this later, feel free to drop any questions or comments into the comments then, and we can answer them there. So just one question, Cam. I'll just bring you in now. Someone says, I think you answered this too, can the customer select a particular photographer?
Yes, they can. Yes. You can control that as the photographer, whether you want them to be able to or not.
Yep.
So it's
Cool.
quite customizable.
All right, thanks for that. Does anyone have any other questions you want to go through? Don't have anything else yet at the moment. So I think we'll wrap things up now. If you want to go and find out more about Ubookr, have a look for them at ubookr.com. If you've got any more questions for me about that roadmap that we just went through, happy to go through that at any time as well. Just be out there and just make sure you're working on all of those areas. Don't just focus on one or two, and I think you're going to do much better. All right, that's it for today's show. If you haven't yet seen me or followed me on social media, then you'll find me at Facebook, Instagram, there's at YouTube, LinkedIn, and everywhere as well. And that's it. I'll catch you on the next one. So thanks for popping by.